Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's incredible semifinal between the Shanghai Staggered versus Carolina Cosmic. Tonight, with me on the play-by-play role is going to be the one and only Spiff-tastic me, and on the bottom left, GL is going to come in and do the color casting / analyst role for tonight's semifinals. Guys, good evening. How are we doing tonight?
Spiff-tastic.
Sorry,
Ready to get the game started.
I should have said a name, but we're gonna start with you, Spiff. How are you feeling tonight? Excited? We have your favorite quote unquote team, Shanghai Staggered. They're your forever supporters. Really fun people against perhaps my favorite team, Carolina Cosmic, just because I love their tank plays. They're very aggressive. I'm a big fan of the Rhine, so that's what I'm expecting tonight. But what are you expecting from Shanghai Staggered and Carolina Cosmic tonight?
I'm actually expecting another great game of Overwatch like we had yesterday, where it was really, really close. I do actually still expect, basically what happened with San Francisco is for Shanghai to definitely really bring their A game when it comes to control maps, as we've been seeing the entire season. But both these these teams are top tier. That's why they made it to the semifinals, and we are about to have a great evening of some more Overwatch.
Some great evening indeed, especially with a team that has been undefeated so far when it comes to control, and that's going to be Shanghai Staggered. They run a very particular comp. They've been doing that throughout the entire season. GL, this question's for you. We know that Shanghai Staggered, they have a player, Super Nick King, as their main Reaper when it comes to control maps. How crucial, even though they haven't lost a game in control, how important it is now more than ever to have a Reaper in your starting lineup for at least control maps.
Well, given the new buffs given by Blizzard to Reaper, I highly suspect his ability to self-sustain and actually be able to flank into an enemy team is now more viable. But again, he can be focused down with good effort and good callouts. So it'll be up to the enemy's supports and tanks to be cognizant of where he is at all times. And if he does get that flank, expect to see that that Reaper ultimate coming out very, very often if they're caught unawares.
And what about you, Spiff? You think that Super King Nick it's going to be even more difficult to deal with now that he has that extra buff? Again, they haven't lost a map. Control map for them, it has been very, very favorable. So what are your thoughts on that?
He was already good with the Reaper. He already knew where to go, when to go there, and the Death Blossom's on point. I think he's going to continue to play it with the same play style. It's just he's going to be even, as GL said, he'll be able to sustain himself even longer, not to make his healers have to deal with him so much, kind of leave him alone, they can focus on the tanks. And he's going to continue to do what he's already done on Reaper, just it's got the buff, so he's going to be able to do it better.
Let's talk about goats for a minute. We haven't really seen goats from either side so much. From the side of Shanghai Stagger, we've seen the very unusual combination of main tanks with Reinhardt and Chicken Nugget on the Winston. On the other side, for Cosmic, we've seen a more traditional approach when it comes to the front line with a Zarya and a Reinhardt, or maybe a Diva and a Winston to essentially put together the dive composition, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are our thoughts here? This question's for you, Spiff. I'm going to stick with you. Do you think that with Shanghai being so good on control map, do you think Cosmic is going to take into consideration maybe running goats?
I think if they do, they're going to wish they hadn't, especially since they switch up comps almost between the different map types. So the lineup you see right here, AquaKid usually doesn't go on to their control maps. They usually will bring in, as we said, Super King, and Ryutix, if he has to, will go to a Doomfist, and they're just going to start with the coordination that Shanghai already has. I think they will actually destroy the Goat comp that if they try and push on, or they'll have to get off and maybe go in the air with a Pharah. But I feel that if they try to run Goats into a souped-up Reaper that is coordinated on a great team, then they're going to be hitting the wall.
I want to ask you the same question, GL. You think it's worth running a Goat composition against this new buff Super Reaper that's currently in the new patch?
100% honestly, I think Reaper's buffs don't really change anything to the meta so much, simply because the Goat still remains to be very, very strong. Just the ability to run it without coordination now is you can punish it a lot more easily with characters like Reaper, with Pharah. The fact that the Matrix now has an opening for more damage for the grab to get through more often. So if you are a superior team of Goats, then you should be just fine. But if you tend to make a lot of mistakes, old Goats can't cover you anymore, and you're gonna get punished. So it's all up to these teams and their coordinations.
Old Goats can't cover you anymore. And with that in mind, we're going to talk about the first map. It's going to be our favorite 2CP Hanamura. When I say favorite, I actually like this map. I know a lot of people hate 2CPs, but I feel like Hanamura, to me, it's such a mechanics heavy map where you need to know your corners, you need to know when to take the high ground, when to push. I love it. But with that in mind, I'm going to go to you, Spiff, and I want you to tell me, do you hate Hanamura?
Hanamura visually looks great. I actually want to go to a place that looks like Hanamura. Got the sakura trees, it's very Japanese, old, with the cool little tops. I just don't like ones where when you're on attack, you really only have the one solid push forward direction. You only really have the choke that's going. unless your entire team decides to go in this small little window and jump really quick, which actually we saw one of the older teams we had, New York XD. They were very good at diving the entire team really quickly right through the window, and they were able to get on the high ground and basically take the defenders unaware. But nowadays it's a lot of poking phases. I'm expecting to see some maze. I'm expecting to see just maybe some Junkrats, just a lot of spam down the choke, and I don't like that. I want to be able to have a different mode of attack, and that's why I like Anubis a little bit better, because at least with the choke, there's 2 windows and you can go straight, left, or right. This one is you go down the choke and you meet the team right there. That's one of the reasons I don't like Hunt.
Okay, that's a great that's a lot reasoning behind it. Gio, let's focus a little bit more on Hanamura, but composition wise. So we're not sure who's going to be defending first, but if you are defending, what is the composition that you would pick or you would start with?
More and more lately I've seen favored still is Mei coming back. Actually asked a little bit if you have a really good aim, because that drop off range is in a nice little sweet spot, starting off on defense. You do get the versatility with Bob and the dynamite, especially against goats. Not the best counter, but if you can pull it off, people do tend to favor that in competitive, at least in my games. And if not, it's just the very traditional, hey, let's run a Mei goats and just lock them out of the choke.
I like that. I like that. And what about in offense? If you can quickly give us a thought as to how you would get through that first choke that we know it's incredibly difficult to get through, even if there's especially when there's a Mei involved, especially when there's a Bastion involved. How do you get around that? So
easy. Yeah, you group up and you press W together. You don't wait for the Ryan to go forward and then he dies and you wonder what happened, or anything like that, guys. Just group up, go through, don't be afraid. The spam isn't gonna kill you. At least not all of you.
And with that in mind, guys, don't forget that tonight and the upcoming weekends, we're gonna have more matches, and the final will be determined with tonight's semifinal. But with that in mind, guys, please take it away.
Hello again, guys. I am Swiftastic. We're doing your play-by-play, and with me, gonna be my color, gonna be my... Basically, what happened is going to be GL. GL, sir, hi, say hi. Happy Sunday to you. And what we say again, what you were hoping to see on defense?
How's it going, everybody? Name's GL260. Having a great Sunday. Same as hopefully everyone else is. I'm hoping to see on defense something a little bit more creative. I have seen some Symmetra Bastion strategies, a little bit harder to pull off, but these guys, I've been told, are the top players of these teams. So I'm hoping they can see some coordination out of that. If not, let me see a good solid defense with some good follow-up. Maybe even like the Mei strat. It is tried and true. So let's see what they pull out today.
Awesome sauce. Thank you, GL. Again, guys, the top left in your blue is going to be Shanghai Staggered. Top right in your red is going to be the Carolina Cosmic. Shanghai is going to be starting defense, and it looks like they're going to be starting more or less back on point. Usually you see them be up near closer to the choke. On attack right now, if we are seeing what we're seeing, we're looking at a variation of goats, which I'm sure will actually be a thing. And whenever I see 3 healers, it's a variation of goats in my head, because they have Virus going to be, instead of on that Diva or that Winston or that more mobile tank, they have him on a Reaper. And they're not going to really run into any contests. As they come right here through the choke, they're going to see, hey, where is the enemy team? In fact, all of Shanghai is hiding pretty well. They do see Ryutix up there on the top on the Hanzo, and they're going to take the safe route. They're going to go hug the right side, staying together as a team, which I really do like. Speeding across onto the point. They're trying to get that fire strike. Very nice. Very nice. Right away. Beautiful first pick. That's going to give Shanghai what they want, which is a big boost of confidence. They do get Jacques, and it's going to be Manamine that does take down Ranger. So right now is even. It's going to be 4v4 right now. They are keeping her on the point. Manamine is the only one that's actually touching her right now. That's Zarya bubbles down. However, standard is pretty high charge. Lazy Healer's getting so low, going to be taken out by Lazy Healer, but Manamine's going to get off a kid in retaliation. Mirari falls to Lazy, and Manamine gets his own double kill. Despite that early pick right away that got the kill, it's right. It seems like Carolina is going to be getting this. 2 more members of Shanghai are back here. Rumi is trying to jump around, jump up, down. Charge actually does find Zarya. Is going to be finished off by that fire strike from Ranger. So it is still staggering, still being here. Charge is going to get that right hard off and right into a wall. There we go. Carolina going to be taking that first point on Hanamura.
Very nice, very nice. It was unfortunate. I saw Ryu was able to effectively build up his ultimate, but he seemed to want to use it just a little bit too early just to get the contest going. It's unfortunate. If he had waited maybe just a few more seconds, his team would have been able to push, and they could have maybe held for just a little bit longer there, but overall a pretty decent defense.
And changes coming out from Aqua Kid, who was on the Genji instead of going on to the Junkrat. Junkrat's pretty good up here on this little choke, especially people like coming on the top left. So do you agree with doing the Junkrat here?
I definitely agree. They're coming into a nice little choke point. A lot of damage coming in. That chunk's about to get ultimate very,
And a boost is going to be going to the right. It doesn't matter because the shatter from Ranger is going to allow himself and Aqua Kid to just start sweeping them up off the floor. Ranger's the only one that's going to be the casualty on the side of Staggered, but that's a team kill. Reset, Carolina. Come back again.
Very nice, man. I love the sound of the bell. That was very well played by them. They were able to stop that aggression early on. Fantastic job by them.
And we're going to see 2 DPS ults actually getting up online here for defense. And if they go up on the top left again, whenever I say top left, I'm using the side from the defenders here. So the very top left of the point. Do you think they should keep pushing this top left corner to try and take the high ground? Or would you want them to come
very risky. They don't have a diva to eat the spam. This is a hard fight for the Reinhardt to push in. Oh, they do have the diva. I stand corrected, but hopefully they can break through. Nope.
Shatter's not going to find anyone. Goes into a wall.
Crab Dragon's coming online. Oh, here we go to see Tire.
Fire in the hole. Triple lazy hero and man. I mean, both fall. Ranger gets virus as he gets out of his mech. Lucio trying to come around and just gonna maybe pull them away from the point, but wasn't with their team. Wouldn't have mattered because of the huge kill, and it's gonna be another reset for Carolina. And I hope that Zarya can get away.
That was an absolutely fantastic play by Aqua Kid. It's best for his team to be able to protect them long enough to get the Tire. Unfortunately,
he tried to boot. Oh, Star Destroyer! I'm sorry, sir. I would have actually tried to maybe dive out the window down front because that would have been a tricky thing to do. But he lost his charge and he's gonna have to reset. But right now online, what do you think Carolina needs to do?
Right now, Carolina needs to take just a different approach to these attacks. Right now, they're finally coming down main, but going up top so many times seems to cost them both time and ult charge. And they especially lost a grab at the end of the fight. That was the worst. Let's see what's happening now. They're coming on point.
They are going down there. They moved it onto the point, going underneath, comes on, grab comes out front, gets
grab
combo with the dragon. We're looking for
we
didn't get any kills from the dragon itself, but that's a triple kill for Shanghai. So half the team already taken out. Manami falls as well. Looking for just the virus who got out of the mech, and it's going to be
the Stagger.
I think the Stagger is going to be the right call here. Underneath the, wondering, you know what? He's wondering if I can maybe get back in my mech, but they are definitely not going to let him get any damage, not even give him a chance to get in his mech, and then finish off.
Fantastic.
Beautiful Stagger. That's another 10 seconds of waiting till Carolina come forward. Now, they still have 3.5 minutes, but I liked that mode of attack they did that time. Do you think they just need to try something like that again?
I thought it was absolutely fantastic. If they want to do something to really get out of the zone of danger, coming mid, dropping, going left to coast, coming all the way around. One angle, Junk can't spam you. You have the Rhine Shield, the Matrix, the bubbles. But it looks like they're going to try going up top one more time. They have Diva Bomb. Let's see if they can combo it with Bomb and Shatter. Maybe they can get a nice big team wipe right here. So let's see.
On the side.
Fire again.
Double kill. Hero and Star Destroyer do fall to a beautiful tire from Aqua Kid. They did decide to come down on the point even though they're down 2, but that nobody else is currently falling until Lazy Healer takes a mine to the face. The remaining 3 players of Carolina here on the point. They're smart. They're probably going to stagger them just slightly because here's Jacques and the Diva tries to run away, gets D-mech by Rutix, and decides to take that leap of faith. The long trip off a short cliff. Carolina, you got just about 2.5 minutes left. Let's see what you can do with maybe some ult usage.
Big thing right now, they need to be able to get in. They're struggling to get past these choke points. They're just feeding ultimates directly into the enemy DPS, and they're not making an effective plan to counter it. Hopefully with Diva, a spicy trick with maybe if Diva comes mid, throws bomb, and they push up top.
The virus has switched off Diva, deciding not to use the bombs. They've gone to a 2-2-2. I mean, that's a big switch. Maybe they're expecting the Diva, and they're going to be so shocked not to see it. But we got the DPS of Jacques and virus coming on from Soldier and Genji. Genji hopefully putting some pressure on maybe Brutix or the back line. Here comes the Dragon Strike onto the top. And Shadows coming up from both sides. Man, he does get 2 of Shanghai on the ground, but it's not enough because the Dragon Strike gets 2. Aqua Kid gets 2. Ranger getting shocked with that beautiful Fire Strike, and it's Zarya going to be trying to run away. Probably going to be staggered just slightly. Going to be picked off maybe? I like that he's... Do you think... In that instance especially, I'm always contested in my brain whether or not, if I was Star Destroyer, do I just move forward to try and die, or should I try and escape? Because that's twice now trying to escape, and it didn't work.
he needs to go ahead and reset with his team because they're clearly staggering them, and this is hurting them. Unfortunately, just reset, get good bubbles, get your charge, try again.
And here we go. They're going to be going top right again. They want that high ground, and I can agree though with the high ground, especially now that they have the soldier. Get that good positioning for him. Fire strike coming down. Aqua Kid with another tire on the ready. Both support ults on the side of Shanghai as well as the grab. I'm actually still amazed on how decent a lot of these...
Comes in another tire.
Tire into a grab, triple kill! Jacques, Lazy, and Manamine both decide to take Hug. A explosive tire does not work in their favor. And I want to again point out what I was trying to say is that Shanghai did not overuse ults. They used just the 2, and I see a lot of teams, maybe in my comp level, where it's like, oh, grab, everyone shoot Q, or I hear a bunch of Qs, quickly, press my own. So props again to them for not doing the dragon, which is usually what you would combo that with.
Very. And it looks like they're banking on what appears to be possibly Nanoblade Grav, but I am uncertain. Let's see if we can get the blade in time. All
Virus is already getting really low, less than 1 little bar. He's 1 bar. Manamine is gonna get the charge on Ranger. That's already 1 down for Shanghai. Even it up once Virus falls. Jock getting hit by Ryutix's arrow. It's going in favor of Shanghai right now as Aqua Kid takes out Manamine. Grab coming out on the side of Carolina. There's no follow up. Hero does get taken down. And it does look like that's going to be all she wrote. 1 out of the 2 CP for Carolina. They're going to switch sides and see what Shanghai Staggered can do on attack.
And it was a very good defense by the Staggered. Good to see that they were able to hold that point.
Now, I liked that Carolina was switching it up. Now, I don't like so much that they kept going the high ground, even when they switched up the comp, because what I kept seeing is Ryutix was on a great flank keeper on the top side of the Hanzo, and I mean Junkrat just shooting fish in a barrel. But it seemed they got the most success in my opinion when they came down main. They didn't come in where Shanghai wanted them to, but then
to the bottleneck. Yep.
They didn't go in the bottleneck, but if they get on the point, they have a Hanzo that they can't deal with, and they have it on a high ground, and they had the Junkrat on the high ground because he didn't come down to the point. And it just great play by Shanghai, and it was a great attempt by Carolina. Let's see what changes. But top right again is Carolina Cosmic in the red. GL, what does their defense tell you?
Defense, let's see. I'm wondering exactly more how the offense is planning on breaking it given their previous record that I just saw. Because this team seemed to just like to go in very gun-ho, just took a lot of damage. So regardless of the comp, I just want to see them to be playing a little bit more patiently and actually holding this choke with I guess with just a level head. I just don't want to see this Ryan go down for the 5th time.
Oh man, poor Mana, but Mana is a great Reinhardt. Watched him quite a few times, so they are going to be sticking. They have brought in a very brawl heavy right at the choke build, and on conversely, we have more of a mobile version coming out from Shanghai, as they do have the dive tanks, which you see the Winston and the Diva, and we got the Pharah Mercy up in the air. Lucio is going to be boosting the Aqua Kid, who is now on the Genji. The wall comes out. It's not going to be enough to hold back this very mobile team. They basically just go right over it, moving the fight.
There goes Zen.
Kid punches Lazy, but he does get hit back by Hero. But it's now up 1 on Shanghai.
The res is off.
Destroyer does get Mirari, though. The fight is on the point. It is still pretty even. Ryutix getting the other healer of Carolina. However, Star Destroyer does get Rune, so both healers are down on the side of Shanghai. It is just Ryutix and just Chicken Nugget here trying to deal with the Star Destroyer. Star Destroyer is pulling it right now. High charge. Can Ryutix deal with him? Even if he can't, he needs to be able to kill this Zarya, who is just beaming him in the face. However, the rest of Shanghai was able to respawn, is there to help their Pharah up in the air. Star Destroyer backing up to get the mini. As the rest of his team comes forward, they do get 1 tick already on the first attack. Jacques comes in with the Wraith form, does get destroyed by Mirari, because, you know, Battle Mercy. The Shatter comes out, does get 1 on the floor, gets booped in the air, lands, and then gets the charge on the Chicken Nugget, but he's able to leap away. Lazy does get Aqua Kid, Ryutix does get him in retaliation. Our Star Destroyer is still alive, still high charge.
Going for it.
Mirari gets Aqua Kid back up. They are past 2 ticks. The Star Destroyer just here on the point. Anna is just around the corner. Rune Lee and Aqua Kid trying to deal with him. Mirari even brings out the pistol, punches him to death, and then it's going to be High Hero who is going to be taken out, and that's going to be a first cap win for Shanghai. And they're going to move to point 2 right away.
That was an amazing defense by Star Destroyer. Held the point by himself at one point. What is it? 1v4, 1v5. Truly impressive.
And absolutely, like he even made made Rutix, who was on the Pharah, back up, and the only reason he was able to come back is because of the respawn advantage that Shanghai had. Now they're going to moving forward on the top right. No changes coming out from the side of Shanghai. Virus has gone onto the McCree, trying to deal with great anti-grenade onto Shanghai. Aquakid does fall. That's
Great
back
charge.
forward until he is rezzed right away. Rutix is taken down though. Here comes out the Eugene Yo Karaoke. Gets Virus. Gonna be shattered. Front double on the ground. The Demon Bomb does kind of prevent Manamine from being able to follow up on that shatter. Jog is on point. Does get die. Looking for some kills. Mostly eaten, but does get enough to get Ranger Hoover out of his mech. Chicken Nugget falls to Manamine, and right now Carolina has dug in their heels. Is not going to let this be easy for Shanghai as they are being repulsed and they are resetting.
Absolutely fantastic defense here. What I was surprised to see that the graph didn't come up just a little bit sooner. It seemed to make the fight very messy right afterwards. Hopefully they can build up some ultimates now, because they are at a bit of a disadvantage. They don't have the support ultimates, and the enemy team has the Lucio beat drop to engage. So it's going to be very dangerous for the defenders right now.
And the defenders making slight little issue. They had Virus was on the McCree, had switched off on the Doomfist to try and stall, and then went back to the McCree. So that's a reset on his ultimate charge. So they only have to grab, maybe to combo up with essentially a gigantic hammer from Manamine. But we do the two ults that are online here for Shanghai is their support ult, which hopefully will help counteract the damage coming out from a well-placed grab and a raining from above, because there's not too much that the defenders can do. The fight is coming onto the point. Roots is getting a nice pick onto Lazy Healer. Charge comes out just
big barrage.
Raining from above gets Manamine. That's up for Shanghai. Actually, Shanghai is back to full strength. It is 6v3,
back on point.
And it's going to be they get the tick. Shanghai Staggered is going to take the first map here on Hanamura. GL, what I like to do is let you go ahead and tell me and narrate this beautiful play of the game that's about to come up.
And they did a great job. They just went in. What I loved best was the Lucio beat drop. It bought time for Mercy to res. It gave the space for Pharah to be able to actually barrage. She didn't have a bubble, but she had the barrier, and it made all the difference. All the space. Ryan's back on the field, and it was too little too late after that.
Great matchup between the two teams, guys. We're going to take a short little break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, and we'll break this down after the break.
Actually, just before we do that, we are going to take a quick 3-minute break, and we're going to reset the stream, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after 3 minutes.